Hi Capricorn, welcome to my channel. This is a reading for February 2024. You can watch it whenever you feel called to. I have 3 decks for this video. The first one is the Slavic Legends Tarot. Then I have the Power of the Runes. If you've been on my channel for a while, you may have seen this deck. I used it in the beginning when I did readings on this channel. It's the Healing with the Fairies Oracle. I haven't pulled out any cards. I am getting the words blunt, and there's just wanting to know the answer type of energy, as if you're like, come on, you have to tell me. I'm also feeling like what comes out of this is the energy of Pam and Jim of The Office, and where they have feelings for each other, but they aren't saying anything at that point, and it feels like wanting for things to be established. Or there's this one episode where Pam was looking at Jim, and then she was asking what do you want to tell me? I know you just want to tell me something. And um then the rest is history. So I feel like there's a shyness. Maybe two people that have been friends for a long time finally go forward with being together like they've wanted to do, but it feels like there's a waiting period. Extra cards that were pulled off to the side are the only ones that are turned over right now. And one of the cards is the Four of Cups. And it almost feels like him with not knowing like how to tell her, but wanting to tell her. In the magician, it kind of feels like using like putting your eggs in one basket, like just putting all that effort, and maybe there is something romantic about it. It is going to be Valentine's Day. Um, so that could be a time where the person might confess his or her affections for the other person. And then I feel like with the strength card, there's kind of a waiting that from this other person. And strength with waiting, but strength kind of feels like an endurance of I'm gonna keep going with this. There does feel like a little bit of a push and pull with these energies too, in a way where it feels balanced. There does feel like this also as if sometimes when he goes forward, she pulls back, and vice versa. So in some cases, it can be confusing, but it could also be part of the chase, if you will. And I don't think that a chase is necessarily a bad thing, depending on what the dynamic of the relationship is. So, in a way, it feels like it's balanced, which is interesting because some decks, or depending on what deck you have, it can swap the places of the Strength card and the Justice card. And the Justice card, in general terms, can be linked to balance too. And there could be a sense of morality with that balance because it's the scales of justice as well. And also with the feather and saying there's a sense of poisedness and diplomacy that comes with it, almost like a chivalry that comes from it. So that could be where it is sometimes like the push and pull of the diplomatic type of energy that you get from it, wanting to still respect the other person's space or a sense of comfort. And also, it could have been to um, not wanting to be disappointed if the other person didn't return that affection. Let's see. And the Oracle is raising your standards. It's interesting about this card because I do remember what it was saying in the guidebook. Because at the end of the readings, I like to give my message and read from the guidebook too. One of the things that it was saying was that why, why can't you have this thing? Um, and that you're deserving of it. So with one party thinking, or maybe both parties thinking that this person is so incredible, what makes me think that I'll be end up with somebody like them. That's the type of energy that it gets. And also raising your standards could be the upgrade too in general, alongside of the meaning that is behind it too from the creators of it. Like if you're transitioning from one part of life to another, one of the main transitions I feel like you would have is maybe moving. So if you go from one place to another, why not make it better than what the last place was? And it doesn't need to be bigger, a bigger place. It might be, but it depends on what your lists are, and it can be a job transition too. It could be relationships. It doesn't need to be one after the other necessarily. But when you go through relationships, we realize the things that we value in relationships and the things that we don't tolerate, the things that make us laugh, um, how we like to spend our days, and if what the other person does fits within our schedule. And I say that maybe if you're in like a working part of your life, or even when you're in school too, it can be busy. And I'm just looking at the box, and there's a dandelion, and it feels like making a wish. And there is like a childlike energy to that too. So I do feel that this can be a dynamic where it brings out um, the inner child in you, which is always great because as you go further in life, you experience all of these things that you have to deal with and to focus on, to prioritize, that sometimes the drawbacks are with your relationships or with the things that you enjoy in life, and it could be and or and within the same category, however you see it. But the inner child energy is something that's so special because there's such a pureness that comes from that too. So it does feel like there is genuine energy that comes from this. This may also be because it's nearing Valentine's Day. And if you're already with somebody, you may want to do something a little bit different. It may just be the same. And if you want to celebrate, if you don't want to celebrate, I feel like there is a sense of value around this time, regardless uh, on relationships in general. There seems to be a preoccupied energy right now. Oh. For some that are dating, you might be dating until you get sometimes even the proposal, or to get the commitment. There are multiple court cards on in this spread, so it leads me to believe that there may be a person that has other qualities than another person. I feel like that is important, but it's also the level of consistency too that really drives it, and the groundedness that you feel in the dynamic that you have. Because what's highlighted is a sense of priority. What are you, how much do you dedicate towards this? And the overall energy is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles in this may have other responsibilities that are also important too. Um, since it's the King of Coins, King of Pentacles, could be somebody that is um, maybe a manager or somebody that owns a business already, or a job that just it pays the bills, and that's one of the things that's important. Because someone in the past enters, I feel like this person from the past is a person that is super romantic. And with the cups, there is a gentleness and softness. Not with all the cards, but um, out of the knights, I would say the king, sorry, since I was about to say the king, it could be linked to the King of Coins, the Knight of Cups. So that could be moving into a different position, and that could be prioritizing the relationship too, combining um, that groundedness, the rootedness of the King of Coins. And you see the tree branches in the card too, with the romantic gestures. That is something that is important for the Knight of Cups. With the Knight of Cups, it's interesting because what I'm getting is something, because he's a knight, and it's like he didn't go in the war to fight. He went and he's more focused on love, if anything. And with the Eight of Coins here, even though this figure is working, there is something in the background that is in the oven that's cooking. I do feel like that could be something that is more representing something that he or she is more passionate about and would rather focus on. And even when the person is working, it's still on their mind regardless. There's a sense of tables turning. It is an increase of, I would say, romantic gestures of this at this time. So there's Perthrow, and there's a spinning wheel on here too. So it feels like it was something that was taking time because to spin fiber, it does take time. And so with the spinning there, it's also related to fate too. If you believe in that, kind of linking to the law of attraction, if you believe in that too. And what's important about with the law of attraction is actually detachment, acceptance, being able to go in these experience these things without limitations, without the idea that this has to happen exactly like that, because if it I wouldn't accept it in any other form and in any other way. There's just it has to be exactly the way that I want it to be. And what happens when you have that type of mindset? There isn't fluidity, there isn't a space for that to enter your life because in essence, a lot of times things don't happen exactly the way that we plan it. And when you are blocking it, when you don't accept it, then it's hard for things to come into your life when they aren't supposed to happen that specific way. So, when you have this law of attraction, we have the unlimited of the potential to have and to draw in what can be something that is greater than what we're expecting. So, with that, the underlying energy is the Four of Wands. It does feel like there is a general idea of wanting to have this moment of happiness, of being able to do this, that, and the third with this person and go about your merry way to set a foundation for this this duo, this relationship that can have unlimited potential. And another wheel. This is the reading of the wheels turning. I'm actually spinning another bobbin and then I'm going to ply them together just to make a two ply. And before I was reading reading in this video, I did have a vision of a wedding ring, or and then a person like with the ring on. So it doesn't need to be so direct in that way or that stage. But again, there is potential for the ultimate results. And for some people, the ultimate results is the proposal, is the marriage, and living a life together. General proposal, general expectations, but with no limitations to those expectations. Um, Hopefully, that wasn't too much of clashing, but I do feel like there is some type of sensory feeling, indulging, if you will, that has to do with the past. So, again, for some, it might be already a person that you're with. For this reading, I am getting a lot that this might have to be, uh, or might be linked to a person that you already know and that you put your time into with the Six of Cups. This is also a dreaming card too, if it's not a person from your past. And you might think of like when you're younger and you say you want to do this and you say the dreams that you have. That's what it kind of feels like, which is kind of, it feels like it's going full circle in some way because the Knight of Cups again. He's more of the dreamer, he's more of like the romanticizer of things. When he's on his horse, he's not thinking honestly about war a lot of the time. He might be thinking about his family back home. He might be thinking about a person that he would like to spend the rest of his life with. Um, Going on a date, going further. A lot of times with the Knight of Cups, it's a lot of effort and energy on those dreams that they start, and it's up to them to stay consistent to see if they pull through with it. And sometimes it comes about in different ways, and we experience things, but it feels like a dream that has already been conceived, and we're just trying to see how we could manage to pull that off. On the mind is the Knight of Coins. And the Knight of Coins, this Knight of Coins, it feels like there is I do feel like it links to the feminine more, if anything. So it could be the feminine's energy, but it could be another person that is more consistent. And that word has come up a couple times in this reading. The level of consistency is important. And if we look at the King of Coins, the King of Pentacles, that is coming from the Knight of Coins or Queen of Coins and the Knight of Pentacles, however you want to see it. Overall, it is one that feels a little bit generational too, as if we look to see what our fathers have had or what other dynamics of relationships that we've seen have like and how they prospered and what we noticed, and what it has taught us and what we observed from it. So that could be the level of consistency that comes from the feminine in the Knight of Coins. That could be where the hesitation comes from, because the Knight of Coins is one that really commits to something, that once he or she has said yes to it, it is one where they put a lot of time and energy into it. And I'm thinking about the Page of Coins too, where it's a studious person or student that student where they put a lot of time into their education, into their study or education and work and training, and maybe this is a proposal or the promotion that we're looking for in this. If not, it could also be a person that is more, I would say, convenient in a way where, again, they are consistent. That's the main thing that I'm getting. Um, but you see with this horse looking back, the horse is like looking back at maybe the Six of Cups of those dreams and memories, and maybe the person from their past thinking how it could have been and what it can be if they are still in their life, and then thinking maybe there's potential. And if they aren't saying anything right now, it could be thinking of ways of maybe I can bring that person back. Or if it's in the immediate future with the Six of Cups, it could be plausible that there is admiration for what has been or what has transpired in the past. But looking at the Knight of Coins and seeing that there is a groundedness that you get from the Knight of Coins and the hard work and effort. There is a slow build-up with the Knight of Coins. A lot of maybe heavy-duty things, and that could be linking to other priorities. But at the end of the day, coming home and still remembering that his other priority is his relationship too. So there is a sense of responsibility in that way. And whoever the King of Coins was before, it is a person that finds more strength in himself, maybe that he didn't before, because he's the King of Coins now, and having more confidence because of the elevation or the promotion that he might have had, or the hard work that he put into the what could have been a friendship that he wants to turn into something that is um, super valuable to him in different ways. And I say valuable in the best ways. Next, some extra cards. In the beginning, another extra card that was pulled is the Tower card. So there is definitely going to be a different way of doing things. And it's a noticeable change. It's something that had to happen, because with the Tower card, the tower's gonna fall regardless if you try to save it or not. So it's like a rebuilding, but we rebuild in a different way. It reforms, it shifts. Um, Something that's sturdier and long lasting. That's what you get from the queen. Since I said queen, the three of coins. Because I feel like since I said queen, maybe the queen is going to work with the king. I didn't get a queen in here, but there is a balance and a mutual level of effort that gets put into this. It feels like they're on the same page and they are on the same level in, I feel like, the effort and respect that goes into this too. So with the three of coins, not in this card, but in other decks, it can have multiple people that are working on a project. And so that could be the teamwork that you're getting in the three of coins. For some, with the Knight of Coins, he might be slow to commit because he has been betrayed in the past. You see the Three of Swords here, and it looks like hurt people type of situation where you see that there are two, um, looks like swans in here, and then the leaves are dying, and then it's painful because like the swords are in them and there's blood, and then but they're still together because um, might as well suffer with the other person or in the situation. So that could have been a dynamic that a person has experienced in the past, and it kind of binds them in a way because it hasn't been healed. And when you start, sorry, my foot is falling asleep, um, you start trying to build something with somebody else, most of the time, if not all the time, you're not completely healed anyway. But it is one where to be healed to a degree where you can be vulnerable with the person, because it can't just be guarded energy this whole time. It's not going to go anywhere. And that's what it feels like with the Knight of Coins. The Knight of Coins is guarded and hurt and previously betrayed. And then you have the Five of Swords too, another one where something was just taken too far and it was just like the lack of respect that was there. But then you have the Six of Swords, which is good because it is one where you can gradually move forward and go past those really dark or heavy thoughts that everyone's out to just do all these things to you. And it comes to a point where when you meet somebody and it's a genuine connection and that you can build with, then with the inner child that I was getting in the beginning, it really heals and nurtures those wounds. So, with those types of dynamics, I do feel like it's something that is so worthwhile. And for somebody to elevate themselves to the King of Coins, the King of Pentacles, it feels as if they see the value of themselves and they want to do better. They see the other person as valuable too, so they want to do well with them as well, as well, as well, as well. And it does seem like something that is so fulfilling. Definitely a change up because you're going from the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Um, if we're looking at the court cards, it moves past the Knight of Cups. So we see with the Ten of Swords, something had to be put to rest. And with the swords, a lot of times, with the mental capacity that we can't always have these intrusive thoughts. We have to find ways that we can go in and out of these worlds without causing pain to ourselves and others, a proper way that we could release it gradually, and until we find that we're in a good place to really um, to be more healthy. And even though when you're trying to heal those wounds, it is a sense of healthiness, but um, to really express and to show our inner child again. So, with the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups feels like it's opening, or being able to take things a hair more than a hair more. She holds the cup close to her, and it's almost as if she's cherishing it. It's not something that is necessarily seen in that card, but it's felt in that card. And actions are important too, but what the Queen of Cups really focuses on is her inner reality. And I saw two aces here, and in between those aces is the Two of Cups. So a lot of swords and pentacles here, and even with some cups just splashed here and there. Love these aces. Love the aces in this deck. Love this deck. This kind of feels like it's okay to thrive, because we think about maybe, well, we don't really think about it on a daily basis, but I would be in something that could be linked to this reading. Bluebells taking years to thrive in an area, to actually grow. So it sometimes it takes years or time for someone to feel comfortable and safe to grow somewhere. Sometimes there is the fallow season where we just let the soil be bare and not to grow anything on it, to give it rest because it's been overworked. And then when it's time, there is more strength and there the soil will be more giving and nutritious and something that will be able to thrive and grow and to be more um, bountiful because we let the soil rest. And you do that every couple of years too, to let it rest. And you have the Two of Cups. This is something I feel like maybe your guides have helped with it too. If you're it, if you have or an interest in that, and it's nice. Like I give you my cup, and you could have my cup. It's not an overly expressive card, and yet in other ways it is super expressive with the gaze and the contentment that you get from the expressions on their face. So there is the Nine of Cups in your karmic position. And from this one, I'm getting like kingfish. Like there's fish, plenty of fish in the sea. This one looks like the kingfish, the King of Pentacles. The one that you choose, the one that has, even though it's not a salmon, it's like the one that really swam up the stream and did the work for this relationship. Then your environment is temperance, which feels as if, again, with the law of attraction and fluidity and maybe timing, and you get Perthro as the fate and the spinning of the wheel or spinning of the fiber of the spinning wheel, um, and can even be like the guidance that you get from this mystical forest creature that tend to reveal themselves to those who are worthy of their presence. So, who is worthy of your presence? And Eight of Cups. Might be leaving the past behind. Leaving some of the past behind, because I do, again, with the immediate future, there was the Six of Cups with linking to your past. There is an admiration to your past, and even the Knight of Cups being in your past too. Um, Elevating to the Queen of Cups since it's in the same suit of the court cards. Your hopes or fears is the Three of Wands. Something is coming. I feel something you feel is coming. So, that one, another ace, the Ace of Cups. She just feels like she comes from the water, the depths, as if the person has touched you that deeply. And she even has um, what is it? the to help the fish breathe. Sorry. And then the further future. This feels like it does link to the other person where it is now we get to plan these things. And you have a lot of aces here. You don't have the Ace of Wands in this reading, but this is towards the beginning. A lot of it is really focused on ending, and then it picks back up because you have something that's coming in and it begins a different cycle. And with that, Six of Coins. Six of Coins, it doesn't feel like a rush. You do a little here and do a little there because it feels like there's so much that can be done because there'll be years that could be invested in this. And why rush things when you could take your time and kind of really enjoy the experience and maybe tasting the food and having those romantic, joyful, happy, even having those moments where you can help heal one another too is worthwhile. So for the card Raising Your Standards, I'll read from the book. Card meaning: don't settle for less than your dreams. Once you make the commitment to manifest an improved situation, the universe will find a way to deliver it to you. Deep down, you know what type of life you're meant to live. By drawing this card, you're being reminded that you deserve and can manifest any situation you wish. The fairies ask you to stop making negative affirmations based off of scarcity thinking, such as, I can't afford this, or I could never accomplish that. Instead, they ask you to raise your standards to the level that all children of God deserve. Write down a list of your heart's true desires and review this list daily with a feeling of faith and gratitude, emotions that convert your wishes into reality. Then make a spiritual commitment to expect the best for yourself. This commitment is your sales order that creates miracles in your life. As your dreams start to come true, be sure to graciously accept the good into your life. Know that you deserve life's richest rewards. We all do. Affirmation: I deserve and expect the best in life. I hold high standards for myself. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.